Welcome back to Life After the Show, episode number 6. We're ripping now, and things are getting hot. The Yankees are in the biggest 12-game stretch of the season where all games matter and all hell is breaking loose. They just started the series against the Astros. We're going to quickly go over game 1, but game 2 is where we really need to get into. A lot of stuff going on. Again, if you guys are new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check us out on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. All that's linked down below. I want to let you guys know that here in the beginning. And also, Clint has been going live after these games for some post-game reactions. And so you guys might be seeing those. If you're subscribed to the channel, you can see those. So welcome to the episode. Clint's fired up.
Yeah, no, I've got a lot to talk about this episode. But in 2 games, honestly, bro, we've got some shit that's happened in 2 games. Regardless of how the games have gone, we have storylines in each game. One, potentially Valdez drilling his catcher after he gave up a home run. The second one was what happened with the umpire in the game last night. So, Yankees won the first game 7-1 against the Astros. We did say that this would be one of the most important stretches of the season. So to get that first win in the series was big. Game 2, they were up. They were. I mean, they hit homers. Stanton led the game off with a homer. Austin Wells hit an opposite field homer. Ninth inning rolls around. Cody Bellinger hits a 3-run homer. Game went from being 8-4 in the Astros' favor to 8-7 real quick. And I did say on the live stream last night, I was talking to some of the people that were watching, and I was saying, like, obviously it's okay to hit a home run in the 9th inning, right? So the game is 8-3. But there were runners on, I think it was first and second or second and third. I can't remember the exact positioning of where the runners were at. But Cody Bellinger was at the plate, and I said, Cody can't hit a home run right here. If Cody hits a home run right here, the game's over. And I know that sounds stupid because it would be 3 runs. But what I meant by that was Cody, in the best interest of the team, would have needed to hit a double to keep another runner on the base. So if he hit a double, those 2 runs would have scored. Jazz Chisholm is to follow, and then followed by that would have been Stanton. And what do you know? Cody Bellinger hit a 3-run home run right whenever I said that, and the Astros lose on the next batter. Or the Yankees lose on the next batter. So, again, the game was crazy, but it was decided by a very bad umpire behind the plate. I know that you've got some facts that I sent you some stuff of that, so we'll get into that. But this is mainly what this episode is going to be about, is that umpire's atrocious game.
Yeah, so we'll get into the first game really quickly, just go over it. Yankees won pretty easily, 7-1. Grisham hit a grand slam. And so that is a big part of the main thing I want to talk about in game 1, because other than that, it was a pretty solid win by the Yankees. Bases loaded. Grisham comes up to the plate. Pitch is about to be thrown. The catcher tries to wave off the pitcher, Framber Valdez, and he proceeds to throw the ball, and boom, what do you know, grand slam. And I think I had a stat for Grisham's like
Curveball and fastball stuff? Is that what you're going to say?
No, his record when he has the bases loaded, I think he's like 3 for 4 or something with the bases loaded. Like, he's immaculate when he's put in that opportunity. So that happens, and then after this, was it the next inning? I don't know exactly when it was. Volpe's up to bat. Next batter. Okay, so Volpe's up to bat, and the catcher, what we assume, I think he put up an off-speed pitch. Valdez just goes up and rips 93 miles an hour straight down the pipe, hits the catcher, turns it around, 0 remorse.
That looked that looked intentional. 100%. I did see some reporters for the Astros saying after the game that things got extremely heated in that locker room. Interestingly enough, but not too surprising, the catcher did defend Valdez and say that it was a cross-up because the crowd was too loud and he couldn't hear the pitch. Probably just a standard, like, let's just avoid any kind of turmoil that can happen with the public knowing that he actually fucking drilled me on purpose right there. It looked bad. We aren't the only ones that commented on it. I saw the foul territory guys were going after it. AJ Przinsky and Eric Kratz are both catchers in the MLB, former catchers, so they were sitting there just having a field day with it. So the optics looked bad, that it looked like he drilled him intentionally. And from what I read, it wasn't the first time this season that Framber Valdez decided to go against what the catcher was giving him and then leads to a home run immediately after. So kind of feels like, why are you mad at the catcher? You should be pissed at yourself. He should have just Trevor Bauered it and just thrown the fucking ball out the stadium instead of throwing it at the fucking catcher.
Yeah, that the funny part about it though is that in the Yankees world, there's a bigger story because why did Volpe watch 93 miles an hour down the pipe? They gave him a meatball in the center, and he just watched it. That ball shouldn't have gone into the catcher. That should have gone out of the stadium.
Dude, I saw that. That was like I didn't notice that at first, right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you see the guy get smoked by the ball. Valdez kind of turns around and has that like eat shit smirk on his face.
Yeah.
But to see the doom and gloom Yankees fans being like, well, we could have avoided this whole situation if our guy just fucking swung the bat. Like that brought like a tear to my eye, just laughing in a sense, because yeah, I mean it's true. I don't even know what Volpe's final at bat like finished as,
Oh,
but
yeah.
that probably was the best pitch that he got in the at bat, and good for the Yankees fans for pointing that out. But let's move on to game two.
Game two.
Game two. I watched the whole fucking game, by the way. I was dialed.
What time did you or what part of the game did you go live?
Right at the end of the 8th inning, right into the 9th. Saw it all. Had slight technical difficulties at the beginning of the stream. Wi-Fi was, Xfinity's garbage. I need to get out of that account. But we were live. One thing that I think was noticeable to talk about was the fact that once again, Devin Williams got put into a situation where game is on the line or the game is tied, and he's not had his best shit this year. And Booney has alluded at times that maybe they'll put him in a lower leverage situation to kind of get him acclimated and get him comfortable again. But I guess he had some good games in those low leverages, and they were like, well, this is good enough to throw him back into the fire. And the fire ended up burning him, and he looked like he was maybe going to get out of it. He got bases loaded. He ended up striking out a guy to get 2 outs, bases loaded, 4-4 game, and then he walks the next batter and gets thrown out walking off the mound. Booney gets thrown out to follow by him, and things went downhill fast because they bring in Duvall right after that. He gives up a hit. I think another run scored. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2. He balks the next batter in. And then they're having technical difficulties with the pitch comm, and there was something along the lines that I read saying that the team only had one pitch comm that was speaking Spanish. If you guys don't know, those pitch comms can do whatever voice you want. I know guys used to get like crazy with it and want to put like you could put fucking
Trump.
you could put yeah. I mean, we can go with that. I was gonna say Morgan Freeman or something, like any kind of voice in your ear to hear what you want. So to know that there was a side of it to where they only had one Spanish speaking ABS system, and that's what was causing them to have problems. I mean, Spanish player out there having issues with English voices maybe in his ear is not the best time to do it. But we'll move on with that. It was just a tough game for those the Yankees fans.
Yeah. And so, like you talked about, Yankees got it close there at the end to 8-7. It comes down to 2 outs, and we had Jazz Chisholm come up to bat. It was a 3-2 count, full count, and pitch goes solid inch outside of the zone. Called strikeout. Jazz starts arguing, of course, because it is clearly a ball. And that sparks a lot of people to look into situations. So first, let's talk about it was Brian Walsh who was behind the plate, and the or the little ump scorecard came out for his stats, and I'll put it up on the screen. But his overall accuracy was 90%. He called 151 of 167 pitches correctly. The overall favor was plus 1.4 runs to Houston. I know that that's a stat that you wanted to bring up, but called strike accuracy was at 85%. The average is 88. 8 of 52 called strikes were true balls. This guy, after this, Yankees fans went wild, and I don't think the future for this guy is looking. I mean, it doesn't matter because of the union, but this guy's going to start getting hell.
Deservingly so. Holy shit. But like, here's the thing, man. I get it. I know that umpiring is hard. I know that it's not an easy job, but they need to have the umpires have some sort of accountability. And the accountability system is going to be the ABS system that they put in play potentially next year. I'm all for putting it in right now. I think they should put it in right now. If they don't do it right now, do it during the fucking playoffs. Because if you're going to allow other parts of the game to be challenged on whether the call was correct or wrong, then why not do it for the pitching aspect and the hitting aspect as well? Because the way that these games swing in such a favor of the other team when a play or a call at the plate is wrong and they just don't have the ability to overturn it, it's not fair to anyone involved. So if you were to put this exact game in the 2025 playoffs this year, and one of these teams loses in the manner that they did, it's just like, why did we not have the ABS system in play if it's causing teams to lose? And the weird thing about this, right, is so with the way that baseball goes, like the Players Association really sometimes can't do anything about the rules that they're going to put in play. Like sometimes the MLB and the MLBPA will give and take on certain things and they'll be like, we'll give you this if you give us that. But they can ultimately just implement something in full if they want to. So the weird thing for me to think about is that if the MLB can do this and then the MLB is owned by 30 guys whose teams are getting affected by some of these decisions, why are they not implementing it faster? I know that they talked about how it was inaccurate and that they needed to roll out some I guess some trial runs with it, but the trials have been going on for plenty of time. I was using them in AAA, and then they were using them in the fall league the year before, and it's fucking electric. So put the ABS system into play and get guys like Brian Walsh out of the crosshairs of all the angry fans because he fucked up yet another call.
Yeah. The angry fans started to look into Brian Walsh a little bit more, and they found some stuff about him. Now, we're going to say this is alleged. This is all other people doing some research and now deleted accounts from him. This is from IB the Gambler. Not our words. This is allegedly. Brian Walsh gets exposed as a huge Red Sox fan, deletes his Facebook last night, also had 2 known heavy gamblers on his friends list. That and there's a picture of him at the Red Sox stadium, which
Is he wearing a Red Sox shirt under that?
it looks like it. I mean, being at a stadium isn't that crazy having the shirt on, but then didn't you say there's something about him being a fan of you know,
Yeah, I think I have
Astros too?
No, not the Astros, not the Astros. It was something along the lines of let's see.
So we found a tweet that was from his Facebook from 2013 saying, "I'm a loyal Dodger fan, but Fenway Park was an awesome experience." And then some photos of him wearing Red Sox gear.
How is he a diehard Dodgers fan, but we're only seeing him in Red Sox gear?
And like at the end of the day, umpires can be fans of baseball. That's probably why they're into the sport. But I feel like the league must be doing some sort of vetting to understand that they don't have enough bias to sway the games, because no random person is just going to pick up and be an umpire of of baseball. Like you get into it as a kid because you were, or growing up because you enjoy baseball.
Yeah, I mean, and if it takes these baseball sleuths less than 5 minutes to figure out that Brian Walsh is just like a diehard baseball fan of multiple teams, it looks like, allegedly, then MLB's vetting process should have known that. And maybe they could avoid putting him in scenarios where he's umpiring the games of the teams that he's vocally said he's a diehard fan of. That's a big problem. I know that, like you said, it's not a problem to be a fan of a team, but to be outwardly expressing, again, it was in 2013, but still, I mean, if he's diehard, you would expect right now that he's potentially still diehard. So he can't be in a situation where he's umpiring those games. And especially all the teams that he's a favorite fan of, allegedly, are going to be in the playoffs. And if he's one of the umpires that's in the playoffs, holy shit.
How can you not think? How is a fan's brain not going to instantly go to, there's some bias here?
I mean, they already had an umpire that they looked into for the gambling stuff. And then you've seen in the past that other referees and other sports have gambled on these things. Not saying that he's gambling, but the bias that comes with certain ways that these people can sway the way that the game is played is tough. And also, he's throwing these fucking guys out
Like
when
it's
they're just
nothing.
telling him that he's trash. And that's the facts. That's the one thing that bothers me about the umpires out there, is that they're just so quick to give you the hook and then turn your back and walk away. And then their buddy that's on the crew chief staff, he comes and walks over and he stands in front of you and just avoids you, and you can't even get to the guy. So man up, show us some fucking backbone.
Yeah, it's obviously been an issue, and I think Angel Hernandez was kind of the one that pioneered this whole conversation. But now that he's gone, I still think there's a lot of bad calls that have been happening. We've been talking about it already in the 6 episodes that we've done, but I think it's now or never. MLB, get the ABS system going, and I will say I don't think it's happening in the playoffs.
It's
Because
not gonna
the
happen.
only thing logistically, in my mind, what would delay it would be the stadiums being equipped to run that and at the end of the day, they could just do a thing where they just like run a screen and have like a pause that's under review. They don't have to put up like a graphic of where the ball landed and all that. That's the kind of thing where I feel like they might not be prepared for it, and they'll take the off season to prepare all these teams. But if they don't do it in this off season, I mean, we don't even know if there's going to be a 2026 season. As of now, we don't know what's going on with that. But
No, there'll be a 2026 is
or
after.
2027, yeah, it's the lockout will happen then. But if they don't do it after this, then I don't know what to say, because then I feel like I don't know, it's gonna be tough to support your team when you just don't have the league trying to look out for the best interest of the players and everybody involved.
Yeah, and just to fall off of what you're saying, the stadiums they are equipped. They're ready for this stuff. They've had these things in the stand or on the stadiums called trackmans,
Yeah.
and the trackmans get everything. But then on top of the trackmans, they have something called Hawkeye, and Hawkeye's at the top of the stadium, and Hawkeye's insane. Hawkeye can tell you how fast you're running, how many feet you're standing in one direction versus where you should be. I mean, they can get it down to the exact coordinates. So that will be what the ABS system is using to portray what's a strike and what's a ball up on the scoreboard. I think it's just a matter of they didn't think it was accurate enough, which I don't get
Is it more
because
accurate than 90%?
it's
Because
more accurate than 90%. And I think that MLB would I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe they love the fact that everyone's fucking talking about the game last night and how their product is trash. Probably not. But with all the money that they have and all the stuff that's riding on this between the amount of swings that can happen in a game just from a bad call, like you would assume that MLB wants to make sure that their product is the best product that they have. And I don't get why it's not out there yet. I think that as things continue to happen in these seasons and games get dictated by human error, when they could change things based off of cameras that they have that slow it down, I think you'll see something's going to change with the players' perspective, because I don't think everyone's super warmed up to the fact that ABS is coming, but ABS isn't going to take out like the full human element of
yeah,
the game. It's
100%.
just going to police the moments that have been unpoliceable. So we need it. I mean, there's just between that and the fact that these umpires on the screen as you're sitting at home and you're watching those games, and the networks are putting up that strike zone box, the umpires don't have a grading scale behind the scenes for themselves that's graded off the box that you're seeing on the screen. They have something where it's a little bit, it's called the buffer zone. So you sit back and you see the play that Brian Walsh ends the game on. Unfortunately, the way that the umpire's grading system is, he didn't do anything wrong. And I think that's just because they know how hard umpiring is. And so they give you a little bit of error room to have, but that's why we need the ABS system, because that shit's fucking stupid. If we did that grading scale with tests that I had in high school, I would have passed every fucking test that I barely failed. That's what it's really
Yeah,
coming
give me
down
a,
to.
a 10% margin on everything. I'm
Yeah.
good to go.
10% buffer fucking zone is stupid.
Yeah, especially when it's looked at in the eyes of everyone. Other than that, this got another game tonight against Astros. Was the final one of the series here,
Yeah,
and
big
then
game.
goes into a series against the Blue Jays. 3 games. Blue Jays are at the top right now, so huge series. And you got 3 games against Detroit, then Boston, Minnesota, Baltimore, Chicago, and Baltimore again.
You pull up the standings real quick because the Blue Jays won and the Red Sox lost. So is it 3 games? Is that where we're standing at?
So right now, let's see, 4.5 games back.
Wow.
4.5 games back. The Red Sox do have more wins right now, but they are below them in the wild card. Last 10, the Yankees are 8-2. The Red Sox are 7-3. Blue Jays are 81-59, and the Yankees are 77-62. Now, top of the wild card, it's looking good because if you look at the Mariners down at the bottom, 73. I think Yankees, I mean, should have no problem getting in the playoffs, but you never know.
No, I think they control their own destiny right now. This is a big week to close the gap on that what'd you say, 4.5 game difference between the Blue Jays and them. And obviously they're gonna face the Red Sox. So to get and the Tigers are in there. So obviously it's gonna be all playoff teams that they face. We know that the Yankees have not done super well against teams that are above 500 this year. They're 1-1 in this series against the Astros right now, so they're higher than what their record's been against 500 teams. But this is a big win for them to get tonight if they can get it. So they need that. We need that to continue to harp on the same thing. We're going to the fucking playoffs if this happens. So we need the Yankees to not get fucking screwed by alleged diehard Dodgers fans umpires.
Who's he umping tonight?
He's gonna be at third. He's gonna be at third base tonight.
Okay, so we'll
So
see.
he's gonna be fucking hearing it. Anyone that's a
yeah.
Yankees fan that's in that third base dugout area, he should be third base. I think that's where he will go. I don't know how many umpires they have on the
Oh, dude,
crew
I'm
chief.
I'm looking this up and the Reddit threads that are going on about Brian Walsh on the baseball Reddit. Craziness.
But like, here's the thing, dude. Just avoid all of this. Put the ABS system into play. Help this poor guy get over it. But I just think that this is another wake up call for baseball. They need things like this to hit the fan so they can know that the product needs to be changed. Put ABS out there or put Brian Walsh in front of the fucking camera after the game and let him say, I fucked up. He should know in those moments, like, damn, if everyone's going fucking crazy on me right now, then I fucked up. Maybe I didn't, but chances are you missed that call. So either implement ABS ASAP. See what I did there? ABS ASAP. That's a tongue twister. Or put Brian Walsh in front of a camera and make him talk. But it's, again, this episode isn't just about Brian Walsh being the only bad umpire. There are good umpires out there. There are umpires that have had perfect scorecards on the season. And then there's umpires out there that have had a lot of situations like Brian Walsh. So we just want to avoid those situations in the future and just bring the game up to speed with where the technology is at right now.
100%. And just to show you from last night, we'll say the overall accuracies of every other umpire that played. We had Chris Conroy, 93%. We had Sean Barber, 96%. We had Roberto Ortiz, 93. Emil Jimenez, 95. Jacob Metz, 93. You see a trend here. Nothing is below the other one. Mark Wegner, 92. Then we had 94% from Jordan Baker, 96% from Alex Tosi, 93, 94, 96, 98. Who's 98? Jim Wolf. Good
But
job,
look
Jim.
at all these run differentials that I'm looking at right there.
.06.
That's the thing is that the run differential for Brian Walsh was plus 1.4 to the Astros, but that doesn't mean that he gave them 1.5 runs almost. It just means that they have an algorithm that they're using that shows that there's a potential chance that 1.5 runs or 1.4 runs could be scored off of the way that these pitches are being called in favor of the Astros. So, I mean,
And look at the final score.
yeah, they
1.4
lose by
runs is a big.
fucking 1 run, and that's tough. I mean, I would love to see the accuracy for each team. I don't know if the scorecards break it down, but what was the accuracy for the calls for the Astros versus what was the accuracy for the Yankees? Because obviously we know his overall was 90%, but if it was 97% for the Astros and 80 something for the Yankees, it feels weird. I mean, there was that I showed you that video of him going to call a strike potentially on Jose Altuve, and he kind of flinched, and it just looks sketchy. And this isn't the first game of the year where that guy's been behind the plate when the Astros are pitching and winning the game on a called strike 3 on a ball that's outside the zone. So I mean, I'm not sitting here accusing the guy of anything, but multiple times with one team, starts to make people wonder, starts to make people go to your Facebook account. It's been deleted. So, and then your posts start showing up. That's the first time I've seen posts from an umpire surfacing on Twitter. So that's how you know people are fucking mad, man. And it's got to be hard to be Brian Walsh today, but I think it will be a good moment for him to realize that when that ABS system comes into play, it should make him an overall better umpire because he will know right then and there, did I call a ball or a strike? And in theory, that should help him for the future to know what that actual strike is if it's being shown on the scoreboard.
I agree with that completely. And with that, I think we'll conclude this episode here. Make sure you guys tune in to the live streams when Clint goes live. He doesn't have a direct schedule right now, but with these hot games, he's going to continue to be going live. We're going to Orlando this weekend. We got a tournament for pickleball out there. And so we're going to bring some of the setup on the road. So we'll give you guys some episodes and still probably be going live out there as well.
Oh, yeah. I'm going live again tonight. So tune in. Yankees, Astros. Let's fucking go.
We're going to rip this podcast out quick. So thank you guys for listening, watching, and subscribing. And we will see you guys in episode 7.